A car crashes off Highway 178, sending 3 teens to the hospital. A shooting in Oildale leaves 1 man dead, and Kern County honors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is 17 News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Jansen. A car full of teens careened down an embankment off Highway 178 this morning, sending 3 of them to the hospital. It happened where the highway connects with Golden State Avenue. CHP says they're looking into whether the car was hit by another vehicle before it went off the freeway and slammed into a tree. There were 4 teenagers in the car, and 3 of them sustained major injuries, including broken bones and cuts to the head. Bakersfield and Kern County firefighters were called out to a house fire this morning near Memorial Hospital. Several engines arrived to Magnolia Street near Bernard Street to find smoke coming from the roof of this home. Thanks to an aggressive attack, as you can see, they quickly got it under control. No word on the cause. A shooting leaves a man dead in Oildale, and the coroner now says the victim was 33-year-old Roger Archer Jr. It happened just after 3 a.m. Sunday at a trailer park on Beardsley Avenue. Archer died at the scene. So far, no word on any arrests or the description of the shooter. Anyone with information is urged to call KCSO at 861-3110. National news now. It all starts tomorrow. Today, the White House and House Democrats are getting ready for the start of the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. NBC's Jeff Bennett has a preview of what we should expect.
This morning, House Democrats and the White House preparing to spar on the Senate floor, with opening arguments in the president's impeachment trial expected to kick off tomorrow. President Trump on the attack.
By these radical left lunatics, I get impeached.
The House impeachment managers huddling on Capitol Hill this weekend, planning and strategizing how they'll prosecute the case against President Trump. Those Democrats, as required by the rules, releasing their outline for the case, writing in part that President Trump abandoned his oath to faithfully execute the laws and betrayed his public trust. President Trump's misconduct presents a danger to our democratic processes, our national security, and our commitment to the rule of law. He must be removed from office.
There is ample evidence, overwhelming evidence. Any jury would convict in 3 minutes flat.
Mr. Trump's impeachment legal team pushing back, calling the Democrats' case fatally flawed and brazen and unlawful. One of the president's trial attorneys, Alan Dershowitz, offering a preview of the defense, arguing that the president should not be impeached even if House managers prove their case for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
I think that the conduct does not rise to the level of an impeachable offense.
It's all unfolding as a new book by Pulitzer Prize-winning Washington Post reporters Philip Rucker and Carol Leonnig paints a fuller picture of the Trump presidency at this pivotal moment.
This is a president who puts his own interests often above the country, according to many of the senior aides we interviewed.
He'll lash out at his aides, and he'll do whatever it takes publicly to try to survive politically, and that's what we'll probably see in impeachment.
One important step in the impeachment process has still not been decided. That's whether Democrats will be able to call new witnesses to testify. As for President Trump, he heads to Switzerland tonight for the World Economic Forum. Virginia's capital is under a state of emergency. Police there are bracing for a pro-gun rights rally later today and are worried it could turn violent after what authorities say have been credible threats made by white supremacists. Thousands of gun rights protesters have already showed up to the Virginia state capitol amid heavy security. The event was initially planned as a protest against newly proposed gun legislation, but now it's expected to attract white supremacists and anti-government extremists.
Hate, intimidation, and violence have no place here.
Virginia's Governor Ralph Northam has declared a state of emergency and issued a temporary ban on all weapons in the area, hoping to avoid a repeat of the deadly protests in Charlottesville in 2017. The FBI is also on alert. Millions of Americans are honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today at the nation's capital. People gathered at the King Memorial to mark the holiday. A wreath was laid at the base of the King statue on the Washington Mall. Several speakers made note of Dr. King's legacy, quoting from his most notable speeches and offering prayers. The Ebenezer AME Church Choir also performed. The King federal holiday celebrated on the third Monday in January to coincide with the civil rights leader's birthday, which is January 15th. President Ronald Reagan made the holiday official in 1983. Bakersfield joined in on the celebrations of the civil rights leader. An annual awards breakfast was held at the Martin Luther King Community Center this morning. Right now, organizers are teaming up with AmeriCorps for a free lunch and clothing giveaway for youth and the homeless. The annual Martin Luther King Jr. March will take place tonight at 6. You can park at Missionary Baptist Church at 4151 Madison Street in South Bakersfield. Buses will then take you to Bell Terrace Park, where the march will begin, ending at the church with a celebration. You are encouraged to get there early. Further information on all of the local events happening on this MLK Day, just go to KGET.com and click on the hot link icon. All right, let's check in with Kevin. It is a cloudy, cool day out there, Kev.
Yeah, we definitely have the clouds out there. Taking a look, and we also had some fog earlier this morning. Right now on satellite and radar picking up those clouds, and also radar picking up some echo returns. Nothing has hit the ground. That's what we call Virga. Lower levels of the atmosphere just not saturated enough to actually see any type of rainfall out of it, but can't rule out even a little bit of drizzle out of these clouds. 49 degrees for our start of the afternoon. A south-southeast wind at 11 miles per hour. As we take a look at temperatures throughout the day, we are expecting to rise, though, into the 50s and then slipping back into the lower 50s by midnight. 52 right now in Tehachapi, a little warmer there, a southeast wind at 11. And as we take a look at the day on the temperatures, we'll climb into the lower 50s, but then lower 40s as we progress into the evening. I'll have much more coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. A manhunt continues for a Bakersfield man who was the prime suspect in a shooting in Ventura County. Police are looking for 24-year-old Vince Romero. The Ventura Police Department says officers responded to a home around 3 a.m. on Saturday. When they arrived, they found a victim suffering a gunshot wound. The investigation later revealed the victim was related to Romero, who allegedly shot him following a fight. Romero fled the scene and now is wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. If you see him, call Ventura Police at 805-339-4400. Local officers were back on the streets this weekend looking for street racers. Bakersfield Police and Highway Patrol conducted a street racing enforcement operation Saturday night into Sunday morning. During the operation, one person was arrested for an outstanding misdemeanor warrant. 9 citations were issued and 1 vehicle was impounded. Additional street racing enforcement operations are planned for the upcoming weeks. And just a reminder, tomorrow BPD and the city of Bakersfield will hold another community forum to talk about the recent crackdown on street racing. It will be at Independence High School from 6 to 7 p.m. They'll address the growing concern and plans for the future. Still ahead here at noon, Prince Harry speaks publicly about stepping back from royal duties, why he says he and Meghan had no other choice. Shingles is an excruciating virus that can be prevented by vaccine, but do you know if you're at risk? The misconceptions regarding the illness and how to protect yourself. Your 17 Health Watch is after the break. We're back now on your 17 Health Watch. Many of us probably hate the idea of leaving our warm beds during these cold winter mornings to go out for a run or exercise. But there are some benefits that come with exercising in the winter that you may not even realize. First of all, you don't have to deal with any heat or humidity, which could actually help you work out longer. Since it's cold and flu season, exercising can help boost your immunity, which will help give you a little bit of protection. And while it's important to dress in layers, do not go with cotton. Experts say once it becomes damp due to sweat, it can actually make you feel colder. If you've had the chicken pox, you're at risk of getting shingles. There's a vaccine to prevent it, but it's only recommended for people over the age of 50, even though shingles can strike at any age. Lauren Petty reports.
2020 started out unexpectedly.
My gland under my chin was like a golf ball, like extremely swollen. And I had just a little spot right here in my neck.
Minogue was stunned at her doctor's diagnosis.
I think you have an early sign of shingles. And I said, no way. I said, I'm too young. He said, actually, you're not.
People who had chickenpox as a child, about half of us will get shingles.
That's because shingles and chickenpox come from the same virus. And even when you've recovered from chickenpox, the virus stays dormant in your nervous system.
You can pick a nerve ending anywhere in your body, and this is the one it picked for you.
Shingles often appears as a rash and can be very painful.
The pain kicked in after maybe 2, the 3rd day was probably the worst.
There are 2 vaccines approved to prevent shingles. The newest one, Shingrix, was in such high demand last year, its maker had to increase production. But it's only approved for people age 50 and over.
I know people have had it more than once and they're in their 40s. So it doesn't make sense that you shouldn't be able to get that vaccine until you're over 50.
Dr. Schwartz says the age recommendation is based on FDA testing and risk.
The risk of getting shingles is relatively low among younger people.
If you had chickenpox as a kid, your risk of getting shingles increases every year you get older.
The ability of the body to keep the original chickenpox virus in check seems to wane with time.
If you are over the age of 50, you may want to consider the shingles vaccine, but be aware there can be complications, including swelling and fever.
The Shingrix vaccine is not covered by all insurance companies, so check with yours. Many children now get the chickenpox vaccine. Studies show their risk of getting shingles is much lower than someone who has had a natural chickenpox infection. All right, let's check out that Monday forecast. A lot of people off of school and work today for the holiday, but it's kind of cloudy and cool outside. It makes me want to stay inside.
Yeah, we definitely have the cloud cover out there, and wouldn't even rule out a little drizzle throughout the day. But that's about all we're going to be seeing. It looks more ominous than it is. Show you our camera network, and we've got cloudy skies out in Wasco, 49, Arvin, 54 in the clouds, Fraser Park at 48, and then Golden Hills, we've got 53 degrees and cloudy. Again, this is kind of what we're going to be seeing as we go throughout the way for Kern County. So it's something that we're not going to be able to burn off. These stratus clouds usually hang in when we see kind of a thicker fog, and then we have a weak system off to the west pushing through the state. 49 for Bakersfield this time, a south-southeast wind at 14 miles per hour, and you can see temperatures running into the 40s all around, and then into the mountains a little bit warmer for Tehachapi at 52 and 50s out in the desert. Here's a look at the regional view, and you can see the clouds drifting in from the southwest, and even a little light shower activity along the coastal areas, but that is about it. We gave a little bit of ridging off to the west that'll build on in here for the weekend, and then we'll be tracking a series of systems, and one of those is going to make its way into Kern County possibly by Sunday, and you can see the bulk of it will remain north of our area and then sliding south right around late morning, early afternoon by Sunday, and then pushing out of the area. I see no major storms into the Sierra, light snowfall, but no major storms are on the way. When we take a look at Bakersfield rain so far for the month of January, 0.23. We are down almost a half an inch, so we need a system to bring more rain in here for the month. But for the water years, October 1st, we are up about 0.15 of an inch. Air quality today will be moderate with an AQI at 80, and for the remainder of the day, we'll call for the clouds. We may see some morning fog tomorrow once again. 62 in Bakersfield today, 63 McFarland, and lower 60s out on the west side. For the mountains and the Kern River Valley, today look for mostly cloudy skies, 57 in Fraser Park, 55 in Tehachapi, and 60s into the Kern River Valley, and then the winds just out of the northeast 5 to 10. For the desert, we'll look for 60s tomorrow. For today, 60 in Mojave, 64 in Ridgecrest in your extended forecast. As you can see, tomorrow mostly sunny skies. We'll get some clearing and then a chance of rain by next Sunday as mentioned, but still relatively mild across the 7-day period. For the mountains, tomorrow mostly sunny, and we'll see some clouds increase on Friday, and then a chance of some showers on Sunday. Your temperatures remaining into the 50s, and then for the Kern River Valley, very mild throughout the next 7 days, but you'll see a little more sunshine in your forecast tomorrow. Still a little bit on the windy side as well.
Okay. Could use a little more sunshine in my day.
Right.
Thanks, Kev. Well, Prince Harry is explaining why he and his wife Meghan are stepping back from the royal family. During a private event over the weekend, Harry told the crowd it was not a step the couple wanted to take, but there was no other choice. NBC's Keir Simmons reports.
Prince Harry's explosive personal statement delivered at a charity event.
I want you to hear the truth from me, as much as I can share, not as a prince or a duke, but as Harry.
The weekend's announcement that Harry and Meghan will step back from all royal duties was not his choice, he says. After their fairy tale wedding, only just over 2 years ago, they had hoped to serve the Queen.
Once Meghan and I were married, we were excited, we were hopeful, and we were here to serve. For those reasons, it brings me great sadness that it has come to this.
Saturday's announcement that they would no longer use their royal titles or formally represent the monarch was not what they wanted.
Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am.
Harry asking people to understand why.
I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. I was born into this life, and it is a great honour to serve my country and the Queen.
In her statement, Her Majesty saying, Harry, Meghan and Archie will always be much-loved members of my family, while Harry and Meghan vowing to uphold the values of Her Majesty. But one fear, royal experts say, was moments like this. New footage emerging of Prince Harry asking a Hollywood director to hire Meghan.
That's really why we're here. It's the pitch, no?
Harry clearly blaming the media for making it impossible to combine royal and private work.
The media is a powerful force.
While thanking his friends at last night's charity event for their support.
We are taking a leap of faith, so thank you for giving me the courage to take this next step.
That was NBC's Keir Simmons reporting. Coming up, a unique travel trend and how you can take a trip that really takes you out of your comfort zone.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Back now in your 17 Business Watch, surveys are suggesting many Americans will be taking some very unique vacation trips this year. Unique not only where they'll go, but how they'll get there. But who plans the vacation as well? Details from NBC's Chris Clackham.
For turning 50 this year, former TV news producer Allison Andrews is treating herself, traveling to 50 places she's never been. And blog about it at milemarker50.com.
12 hours.
To kick off her 50 for 50 travels, Andrews turned to the surprise vacation agency packupgo.com.
We didn't know where we were going until 2 hours before we left.
Burlington. We are going to Burlington. Pack Up and Go is a travel agency that plans 3-day getaways around the United States. But the catch is that your destination is a surprise until the day you depart.
The quick trips that trend travel experts expect to see more of this year because travelers are becoming more conscientious.
Flying has a really big impact on the environment, so folks are looking to buses and trains in ways that they can sort of slow down, even if maybe they're not going quite as far.
Pack Up and Go's most common customer is, in fact, driving to their surprise destination.
What we're excited about is encouraging travelers to visit a place that they might not think to visit organically, but they might fall in love with it. What you doing?
And in turn fall in love with a new way to travel, just in case you have 50 places to visit this year. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
Still ahead, the Super Bowl matchup is set, and there's a Bakersfield connection to the big game. We'll have details up next. Welcome back. Super Bowl 54 is set. It will be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. NBC's Ron Mott has a preview of what should be a great game between two of NFL's top teams.
In Kansas City, hail to the Chiefs.
I've been waiting 29 years for this, man.
There was a supersized celebration after 5 heartbreak-filled decades of waiting. Fans, former players, and celebrities like Eric Stonestreet and Paul Rudd getting in on the fun.
Go Chiefs! Go Chiefs!
He's going to go in for the Tennessee touchdown.
After another sluggish start for the second straight game, Kansas City overpowered the Tennessee Titans 35-24. Reaching its first Super Bowl since 1970.
Never die is kind of their thing. I mean, it's getting behind like this, tough on an old guy, but they did a nice job coming back.
The Chiefs' superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes again leading the attack, rushing for this second quarter touchdown that ignited a sea of red, giving the Chiefs the lead for good.
Obviously, being able to do it at home, being able to win the Lamar Hunt Trophy here and do it for the fans and everybody like that was awesome. Now we have the chance to go to Miami and get the ultimate goal, which is Super Bowl.
He's gone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
They'll face the surging San Francisco 49ers. Runaway winners over Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers 37-20. The Niners' relentless defense stymied and suffocated the future Hall of Famer, blasting out to a 27-0 halftime advantage. 49er Hall of Famer Jerry Rice tickled by the onslaught.
They were relentless, and
I know we're going to enjoy tonight, but we're going to be ready to carry that over to Miami too.
A Super Bowl 54 matchup of contrasting styles. Kansas City's high-scoring offense, San Francisco's killer defense. A dream ending on the way for just one of them.
And Bakersfield will be represented in Super Bowl 54. Playing for San Francisco, Bakersfield's DJ Reed. He's a free safety for the 49ers. Reed graduated from Independence High School in 2014. He has been with the San Francisco 49ers for 2 seasons. The Super Bowl will be held in Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium again on Sunday, February 2nd. Netflix hosted a casting call over the weekend in town. Hundreds showed up at the downtown Marriott to audition. The streaming service is looking to cast roughly 300 paid extras for the upcoming film, The Prom. Meryl Streep, James Corden, and Nicole Kidman are expected to star in the film. If you were there, expect to hear back via email. Filming is set for January 24th and 25th. When we come back here on 17 News at noon, a very welcome sight along the California coast, a sea otter surge. Why it's such a good sign coming up. Finally, here at noon, our state has seen a surge of otter pup births. The southern sea otter is beginning to thrive thanks to preservation efforts in the Elkhorn Slough, located in Monterey County. There are 18 new pups joining their moms out in the water. Joe Mancino of the Elkhorn Slough Safari says over a century ago there were only 30 to 50 otters in existence, and now there's nearly 3,000 southern Sierra otters on the central California coast. And in the Slough, sea otter totals are at 130 and counting.
Very nice to see
Pretty
them coming
cute.
back.
Oh my gosh. I love going out and watching them on the Central Coast. It's so fun. Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. See you back tonight at 5.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app in the spirit of the Golden Empire. 17 News.